A sincere and heartfelt warm welcome to all of you who have made some time this evening for attending immigration session with one of the Bay Area's leading immigration attorney, Peshawaria. For the last couple of months under the new administration, there have been enormous changes to the immigration policy and procedures, especially which has pushed Indian diaspora who have been on illegal immigrant status, like H1 or F1, into some sort of state of confusion. So certainly, under the collective effort of all local organizations and even national, TRS USA, Telangana American Telugu Association and Telangana Cultural Association, Vision Telangana Association, and Mountain House Tracy Telugu Association too have come forward to have this combined joint meeting with one of the most knowledgeable person in the immigration policies and procedures. Before we get started with the program, I would like to sincerely thank our proud sponsors for this evening: Nitya Software Solutions, Microinfo, eBest Technologies, Sigma Edge, Unawan, Same Page Information Systems, and Baymind People Solutions. Thank you. So, first of all, I would like to invite the dearest brother of ours who has been a community leader, and even he is a South Asian representative for the Congressman Rokana campaign too, who is representing currently the 17th district. May I please call upon Mahesh Pakala to the dais, please. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you so much for obliging our request, Anuji. Now, may I please request Anu Peshawaria Garu onto the dais, please. Now we please request Virender ji come on to the dais, please. Yes, sir, please. Ramesh Garu, please. Thank you. First segment of the program would be addressing by Mahesh Pakala Garu to the crowd.
Thanks, Abhilash. So, thank you so much for having us over. I really appreciate it. Actually, I've been involved in the community for a long time, and when Naveen approached me about the issues that are happening since the Trump administration has taken over, it really touched my heart because I know, being from Hyderabad, I know the issues. I've met a lot of the students from NPU. Actually, their office is pretty close to my house, and I've seen them struggle through the days. And when he mentioned that, I said, this is a good thing that we should get one of the famous attorneys in the Bay Area, and a very close dear friend, Anu, and who I just want to add a two lines. Then I think he can give more introduction. I know Anu. As I told you last time, I used to play tennis. I used to play for the Nationals, and I used to play with her long ago. She went on to play the Wimbledon. I don't know whether you guys know. She played for India #1, and she played for the Wimbledon. And I have a soft spot for sportsmen. Sports people, they work from the heart. They don't work for money or anything. It's the passion. So she is one of the attorneys in the Bay Area. And I tell you, she is the attorney in the Bay Area who works with passion more than anything else. And when she takes up a case, like she never wins, like she never loses a game, right? She never loses any cases. So I think she does a good job. She fights hard for you guys. And I thought this would be the right platform. You guys need to tell all your friends and family if they are into any problems in immigration. She is there. She'll be your voice to the administration. And of course, we have, as you know, all our friend Ro is also there to support us. But as I said, I don't want to talk much. I don't want to take the thunder out of Abhilash. But please think out of the box. She thinks out of the box. It's just not particular standard. Hey, how do I get my H1, H4? But there are other ways to get your legal status. So she thinks out of the box. So you also need to think out of the box and keep your mind open. That's all I want to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mahesh. Thank you so much. As most of you are aware that our today's chief guest is a leading attorney, but would like to take a moment and even provide a bit further more insight of her profile. Anu Peshawaria is a unique Indian-American lawyer who has expertise in both Indian and US immigration laws as well. Based in Silicon Valley, she is globally recognized Indian-American attorney, social activist, and an author too. Her books, Immigrants' Dreams and Lives on the Brink, were real eye-openers for many Indian immigrant families in the United States. She served as the first legal advisor to the Indian Embassy, Washington, D.C., and other Indian consulates as well, like San Francisco, Houston, New York, and Chicago. She is a practicing lawyer at the Supreme Court of India, as well as Washington too. Their offices are located in Fremont, Sacramento, Seattle, and New Delhi, India. She has over 30 years of experience in international law, handling a huge number of Indian family law cases in India and in US too, with an extremely highly specialized in investment-based green cards, H-1B and L-1s, family-based green cards, deportation defense, asylum, and VAWA, which is victims of domestic violence too. As we have a lot of youngsters in the room over here, and I would like to quote a small example where Anu was extremely instrumental during that incident. We had an incident of Tri-Valley University where 19 Indian students were radio tagged and were pressed charges against them on the immigration fraud. And Anu did not even wait for a second. She immediately helped them and coordinated with the consulate very well. And she could really help the victims in whatever way she can. And for her exemplary community services from 1974, Anu has received several awards, and on this great moment, I would like to quote few. She has received the award for excellence for upholding immigrant rights in California by the Secretary of State of California in 2012. Thank you. She was awarded by King County in Seattle for ending domestic violence in the community. She is the recipient of extraordinary ability status by the USCIS in the year 2000. And of course, even she has been a recipient of Kanishka Award and Bharat Nirman Award from the President of India too. As Mahesh Anna said, definitely apart from being an avid social activist for immigration, legal and human rights, she is also a world-class tennis player and has represented India at Wimbledon. And I'm sure Anuji, you'll have a lot of memories to share with John McEnroe and how did that go. My dear friends, without any further delay, it is a great pleasure to introduce today's speaker for this evening, Anu Peshawaria.
Sorry, I missed to introduce Virender. He's also a good friend of ours and husband of Anu. He's one of the very leading insurance agents and he does other stuff as well. He's a good human as well. So if you need any insurance, please do talk to him. Thank you.
Hello everybody.
We can't see you. We can't see you.
It's a pleasure to be here today. And as we know, we are all in a time of extreme distress, what you may call, because of the changes in the immigration situation. So I was telling Mahesh, it was such a pleasure when he told me to come, and then TCS organized this, and the entire Telangana Association has done a great job because we are going live and we are able to reach across lots of more students and people who might benefit. So I was very, very, what should I say? This is probably among all of us immigration attorneys one of the most trying times. Most trying times. Every day we are thinking, with what issue should we go on a mandamus to the court right away? What should we do? We are all trying to gear up. All of us attorneys have been told that we should train 5 more attorneys ahead of us because we might need to fight at this time. This is a time where we have a back against the wall, we don't know what to do. Because laws are changing so rapidly. every day we have to be in touch with reality. So coming down to brass tacks, I kind of created a little presentation for you to make you understand, because unless you understand immigration in a larger perspective, it's very difficult to know why what is happening. Because sometimes we don't know what is happening, and by learning from here, you might be able to understand a little bit about the gamut of how immigration works in the United States. So this is a presentation of, this is the legal disclaimer, just to let you know that whatever I tell you here, because things are changing so rapidly, it's best to have a one-on-one consultation on a personal problem, because you don't know how things can apply to you. What is the significance of US immigration? It is the most complex, it is the most debated, as you know very well. Why? Because it's most important for voting. Look at the facts and statistics. So, in 2014, there was 11.3 million unauthorized immigrants in the United States. 3.5% of the total population in US are illegal immigrants. Now, I'm sure you know, but let me spell out what is illegal immigrants. Anybody who has overstepped their visa status becomes illegal, or a person who crosses the border illegally. Some people stand on the border and surrender themselves and say that we are afraid to return to their country. That is also illegal. And also anybody who oversteps their status or stays over on a B1, B2, or a student visa which is expired and falls out of status, or an H1 which overstays, all come under this illegal category. So they are 3.5% of the total population.
Anu, can you stand this side if you want? Because light will come.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, until 2014, 63% of Mexicans entered US via immediate relatives of US citizens. So the highest population of immigrants here is Mexicans, and 52% of Indians entered via employment-based, which I think most of the people here are coming through these categories, employment-based. Where they come on a student visa and then they convert into an H1B and then come and get their green card under the perm labor certification would all qualify for employment-based. So 52% is pretty high of Indians' dominance in the United States. Total Indian immigrants in the US is over 2,061,000, and I'm sure there are some undocumented which may not even be here. So we do have a large significance, but we are one of the most very well known and very qualified and very significant population. But again, 500,000 are officially identified as undocumented. So we do have, even in the Indian population, a little over 500,000 who are here illegally. Now what did it start with? As I was saying, it's extremely debated issue. Trump's plans for illegal immigrants, he said that he doesn't want any illegal immigrants. He wants to build a wall. He wants to see that illegal immigrants, now what are they going to do with illegal immigrants? I do not know. It's always, it can be anybody's guess. Are they going to send everybody back? Are they going to do a rapid cases are going to go really fast for illegal people, but they have to be given due process. So this is going to be a question now to be answered. What are they going to do with the illegal immigrants? His comments have been that we have to be very firm, we have to be very strong when people come in illegally. We have a lot of people that want to come in through the legal process. It's not fair to them. But let me tell you, what did they do right now for the Muslim ban? Those were people who were coming legally, but even they've been banned. So you must understand that what they say and what they do can be two different things. Because President has ultimate power to do anything. Let's be very clear, he does have the power. So, initial approach, he had made 2 illegal amnesties. This is, if you remember, they had the DACA program, where some illegal children were here, brought in when they were few months old or few years old. It was not even for any fault of themselves, but they came with their parents. So he had granted these amnesties, and it was actually very hard for Obama to pass those few laws because he was also stopped by various courts, and still he was able to bring in a few amnesties. So the recent approaches which is scaring everybody is that these deportations are about to begin. But there is an extreme, let's go back to the previous slide. There is a softening approach. There is a softening approach. He doesn't want to lose students. He doesn't want to lose people who are highly qualified. He doesn't want to lose people who have been trained in the United States. So there is a softening turn. So what are the changes we are having now at this moment coming to the US laws? So there's a mixed reaction. There is still not a very great clarity, to be honest, whether Trump's policies are good for India or not good for India. I do not know what people think, but lots of Indian companies, the top 5-6 Indian companies, are being affected by the H-1B program. They are being affected by the premium processing not being there, and so many people have lost that business. So do you call that good for India? I don't think so. But it's a lot of questions. There is a mixed reaction. So sometimes you read an article where they try to bring it as if it's good for India, but I really don't think so. So what are the opportunities to tap? The number one program, H-1B, is what we Silicon Valley maximum is being used. This H-1B program has a huge potential, but we don't know what next year's 2018 quota is going to bring. We don't know what changes will happen in the H-1B program. But H-1B program, what it is today, April 1st is the deadline. So we have to file on April 3rd. We have 3 days to file. And I think somehow this is going to be a record number of H-1B filings. Because everybody knows that after this H-1B may change in complexity. What all changes will come, we don't know. So let's explain a little about H-1B visa. What is an H-1B visa? Who is eligible? So anybody who has a specialty occupation. It's not only an engineer. Anybody, whether it's a market research analyst, there's so many positions which are specialty occupation. Even a dancer, if she has done a 4 years bachelor's degree in dancing, she qualifies. A fashion designer, Melania Trump came as a fashion designer. So anybody who has a specialty occupation is the main consideration of an H-1B, who is eligible. And then what are the other things that are required is an employer-employee relationship. So many times we get RFEs on this. RFE means request for further information. And once you are served with a request for further information, invariably it's pointing to certain things they are finding deficiency in your application. In those applications, you will find always employer-employee question will come, because we have 5-6 layers of people who are posting their candidates into an X company, and then there are 3-4 layers in the between. So really it's very hard for USCIS to figure out who's the actual employer. So they want your end client letters, they want to see all your contracts, and if in those contracts they find anything wrong or anything amiss, then you're going to get a H-1B denial. Prevailing wage, for example, right now it's close to a computer programmer in this area is close to 102. This is just an example, but in various counties it will be different. How great is the demand, which we all know is 65,000 is the cap and 20,000, and in 2015 they had 233,000. So what a great demand for an H-1B, and what a bad planning for H-1B. Every year they're doing the same thing, and H-1B, the need is there, but the way it is being handled. So who uses it? Highly maximum used by tech companies, consulting companies, outsourcing firms, top H-1B sponsors from India, because we are mostly Indians here. I thought it would be important to tell you Infosys, TCS and all these, IBM, and of course this French company. And California alone sponsored 119,000 H1Bs. So the maximum H1Bs are sponsored from California. And next in line is Chicago with 35,000. So California H1B is such a big thing. And now they're talking of what the proposed H1B regulations are talking of raising the salary. So I had a lot of people who were calling me ever since these bills started talking about it's going to go up to 130,000, etc. We can't, what if I'm not paid that? What is going to happen to me? But I think that engineers are paid pretty highly here anyway. But they're going to might do away with experience levels because there's 1, 2, 3 of experience levels, which again might go away. Employers claim that H1Bs, now this is a question why they say it's a rare skill. Now H1B, the very premise that H1B started was that it is considered a rare skill set. So why are they being paid low? These are the pro-Trump people who are talking in this manner, which also in certain ways have some meaning. So there might be some changes required in the H1B regulations, whereby what is H1B meant for? Is it meant really for a rare skill? So are we really hitting American workers or not? So these are the policies which need to be looked into. Because I can only talk of law what it is today. I or you may have a personal opinion, that's a separate issue. But as an attorney, my duty is to tell you what the law is today and how to interpret that law, what it is today. So if the law becomes different, we have to interpret that law, we have no other choice. We may have a personal opinion which we can sit over chai and talk about separately anytime. Visas to be given to only those who make exceptional contribution to US economy. That's what H1B is for. Only those who make exceptional contributions to US economy. Whereas we are using H1B for everything. There are numerous companies here who somehow don't follow the laws. And that's why they're in red tape. I was reading just yesterday, some 15 Indian companies have been barred to sponsor H1Bs. Why? Because we make a lot of, we don't prepare our file, we don't keep our papers properly, we don't pay on time, some of the wages have gone down, we put people on the bench, we have so many issues. So those things now are not going to be allowed anymore from next year onwards. These are all going to change. But again, there is a silver lining. If we can't hire skilled immigrants, they'll set up their own Silicon Valley in their own country. So I'm hearing that Hyderabad is doing very well, I'm hearing Chennai is doing very well, Bangalore is very well. So very soon we might have a Silicon Valley in India. Maybe it's a good push in the right direction. Let me also give you a little overview of immigration besides F1 and H1B. So there is a visa called TN visa. So anybody who's a Canadian citizen, or there are certain countries which have a NAFTA agreement with America, they can come on a TN visa. That's very easy to get, you can get it at the border. Then there's a B1 visa, which is the business visa, where people come and can stay for 6 months or 3 months. They cannot work legally, but they can come on a B1. Similarly, any of you fall out of status, you can convert your status into a B1 or a B2 here while in this country also. Investment-based L1 is a very good option for a lot of people. Very few people know that if their parents or them or somebody had a business in India and they were a director on that company, they could open a business here and they could start their own business on an L1. So that's another option. And then E2 is for those people where we have treaties between between United States and those countries. They can come here on a little investment of $100,000 or $150,000. They could open up. But unfortunately, India does not have this E2 treaty. But Pakistan has E2 treaty with the United States. That's a very question which is a sore thing. Then there's the EB5. So EB5 is another thing where right now you can invest up to $500,000 in rural areas. And those $500,000 in turn automatically creates 10 people. And that allows you to get a green card. So people here in this country also, if they have accounted money of 500,000, can convert into the CB5 even now. And if they want to start their own enterprise, it is 1 million at now. But there is a talk of it going up to 130,000, 1,030,000. But only till now it is still 500. And these are the family-based, where you bring a fiancé into the country, etc. That's family-based. And then there's education-based, which you are aware of. Exchange visitors are there, and then asylum, affirmative defense. So asylum, some people who come on the border and ask for asylum, and others convert while they're in this country. They convert into asylum. And there's specialized categories such as O visa. That's also one thing you should consider. If you have anything outstanding, you have some patents in your name, or you've done some research, or you're STEM OPT people who've done a lot of specialized work, you might qualify for O visa, which does not have any cap. Then there is a P visa, that's for mostly entertainers or athletes. And then of course the PERM, EB1, EB2, EB3, etc. categories. So there's a whole lot more, and besides this also there are numerous visas. So one must know the whole immigration gamut. Who knows, you may fall under what category? There are so many categories, so it's very good to take a personal opinion. So opportunities to tap, as I was talking about EB5 visa. Now Trump himself has a project developed in Austin, and they are promoting this project at the moment. So we who are in EB5 area, we think EB5 is going to stay and is actually going to grow. I strongly suggest L1B visas, L1A visas, because L1B is more specialized knowledge, but L1A, if you have a company overseas and you want to open a branch here, L1 is a very good business because it requires very little investment. Basically, it requires a business plan of talking about what you're doing, and the moment you set up your business and start making money, you get extensions, and if you do really well, you can also convert it into an I-140, get a green card. So L1s are very good options to look at. And you could possibly, some of you could even convert now from what you're doing into an L1, file within the country too. These are some of the opportunities which I just found, which America is offering. And now coming to students, how they feel that Indian students shouldn't be kicked out of US. And they are saying that they don't want to lose. This is going to be a brain drain for them. And last time I'd gone to Pravasi Bharati Divas, and Prime Minister Modi was saying, well, brain drain for them is going to be brain gain for us. I remembered that term. So I know that he does rely heavily on Indian stocks. So that is something to think, that he would be for Indians, and that's why diplomacy will see to it that somehow he remains pro-Indian. Here are a few overseeing new regulations which have just started from January 17th, which says if you have a doctor or a lawyer, you need, for an H1B, you need a license. But up to 1 year, they might give you an H1B, even for lack of social security number. Then USCIS, employment-based and third categories, they are offering new regulations. Employment-based verification regulations are amended. Nowadays, they're insisting that most of the employers come to the E-Verify program. There's another visa which is going to start on July 17th. It's going to be called the entrepreneurial parole. But again, as entrepreneurial parole is going to be really hard, because I don't think so far the regulations convert into a green card. They want people to come and invest in this country. Significant investment of almost 345,000, and then also you don't stay up to 3 years. So they're going to make it tougher and tougher to enter the United States. But just to understand the whole gamut, you still need approval from the Congress. And these policies and executive actions, it's very hard, it is time consuming. As you've seen, he recently had one ban, and then how many states went around for the executive action to fight for it and get a ban, and then what happened is the judge turned it down. And then again after now, he's come back with a new ban, and now already courts all over the country are struck. So it's extremely time consuming, and by the time an actual law comes, it is a very time consuming thing. And then You must, of course, stay in touch with a competent lawyer who understands the system, who understands what Indian system is. Like, for example, in L1, a person needs to be a corporate lawyer in India to understand how the corporation in India works, because they ask numerous questions about the Indian company. So you need somebody who understands both the Indian system and the US system in order to qualify for these entrepreneurial visas like L1. These are just points to ponder. Think about it. Why would a citizen from abroad on an H-1B worker that is needed wanted to get paid less? So we all know that H-1B visas, people in the past have been paid less. That's why they took over a lot more load. Lots of people had to train 5 more people and leave. Those things were happening in the Bay Area, unfortunately. So wherever there is misuse, it is going to be checked. But if the wages are going to be increased, then think about it. Why would a H-1B worker be paid less? He should be paid more, right? So this is what I was just leaving thoughts with you to think about. Another one of STEM graduates, does that mean universities should limit their intake of foreign students? No. I mean, think about it. The more STEM people are there in America, it would be great. So Trump's wooing of foreign students analysis, at the same time, they're making it harder and harder. Look at the ICE report, says 40% of international students studying in the US, 479,000 individuals were enrolled in STEM coursework. Approximately 417,000 international students are pursuing STEM studies. So there has been a significant increase. Overall, international enrollment also has increased, and maximum is from China and then India, 15.9%. There is the curve to show the statistics for some people who are interested. So what is the recent approach? I still feel that immigration will always remain a secret weapon. Why I say secret weapon? Whenever there is a shortage of something, then a new law comes up. A H-2B came up where they need seasonal workers. Then they need agricultural workers, that will come up. When nurses are in shortage, that will come up. So immigration will always remain a secret weapon. And now we do see a possibility of a lot of shortages starting to be created with this law. So I don't know where the government is going, which direction. None of us know right now. So it's a very time where all of us needs to keep our antennas up to know what is happening and to all of us. And I'm always available for any question and answer after that, but unless I have some really good news to share, I don't have. But this is a time for all of us to figure out what all we can do to the best of our ability to hang in there and to see how new bills coming in, like what Mahesh was talking, Ro Khanna is helping us with another bill. But again, misuse of H-1B will be checked because of the misuse we are certainly going down also. So that's what I thought I'll share with you, and I'm always here for question answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anuji. A big round of applause. Thank you so much. So let's have a Q&A session. And the ground rule for Q&A session would be, please be very precise as possible and do not repeat the same question. Okay. Then, any questions? Yeah, Srinivas.
Hi, this is Srini. Thanks for sharing all the visa types and all that. I also heard about U visa. Can you please give some information on that?
So there are 2 kinds of visas. One is called VAWA and one is called the U visa. So anybody who's come here on a non-immigrant visa or even is illegal in this country, if he gets hurt by something or if there is a case or he hands over, helps the enforcement. So for example, if there's battery, somebody came and hit you and you tried to help apprehending the person. And if you helped the police department, if you helped the government in any manner, so if you are walking on the road and somebody pulls your chain and you try to report the matter, or if there's domestic violence, there are a number of assault, battery, there are about 16, 17 offenses which get covered up by that. Anything happens to you, if you report the matter and you help the enforcement, you're entitled to a U visa. And in a U visa, you can, anybody can get the U visa. So you get a certification from the government, you go to the police department, they certify that you made a report and you did get this certification approved, and then you get qualified for a U visa. And U visa, you get a work permit after about a year of getting the U visa approved, provisional certification, and that entitles you to a green card, but of course you have to wait for the category to become green.
Hi, this is Ravi. As you said that H1B premium processing is going to suspend from April 3rd. What is the best approach for us to change the jobs? Is we need to wait for 6 months until the H1B suspension is removed, or can we change the jobs? Is there any other process?
You can't change the job. Aditya, can you come and join me for a minute? I have to introduce you to Aditya, who in my office is handling all H1B cases. And he's been doing it for a lot of years, so he will help me also in some of the H1B cases.
Just adding the question, like from April 4th onwards, H1 premiums are going to be suspended. So during that time, if people change the job, they need to do for the amendment or other stuff, am I right? If they want to transfer their H1 one company to other company, there is no premium processing. So they have to wait until 6 months.
Yes.
In between the project is loose or anything. So what is their status?
So, sorry, one of the provisions on the H1B transfer is that you can start working immediately once you file. So you don't have to actually wait for the approval. So I think that would probably help people start immediately, but the case would take long. So I think traveling and other things would become an issue until the final case is approved. So I think there's no really way around that. So that is, normal around the cap season, which is coming up in a few weeks. Processing time I've seen goes up to about 4 to 5 months on an average case. So I think with the lack of premium processing, it's just going to make it more people. I feel you'll be able to find, work, but I think traveling is the problem. And your question about the amendments, I think amendments have a much less of a time frame anyway. So what they're trying to do is prioritizing those so that if somebody just needs to switch a site or go to a new project within the same employer, I think those timelines will be a little bit faster than the regular transfer process. So, those are some things.
So this is Madhu. So if you do travel during that crossing time, and what are the precautions we need to take, or anything we need to consider during traveling?
I think during traveling, if you're saying while the application is pending,
Yes.
well, I think the only thing would be that you would have to go through stamping at the depending on if you already got stamped before or you're not. But if you're switching to, let's say, a new employer and you leave while it's pending, most probably an RFE or something will come asking that you've departed, and then if your attorney, somebody will have to let them know that you've gone overseas and that you'll need to attend stamping. So I think precautions can be making sure that your project, your pay stubs, everything is intact, because you're going to go up front of a consular officer. You want to make sure everything is fine, and so that you can get through the interview. That's all. And secondly, you'll have to wait till the approval comes. So that's the only thing, because premium processing is not there.
So here's the point. If the approval comes without I-94,
Right.
and the only option we have, we need to cross the country and come back with a new I-94, right? But this approval is going to come for sure during when we travel to India and come.
Yeah, that's still going to come. It doesn't affect
Okay.
that. Yeah.
That's what.
Hello, Aniji.
But there are horror stories at the consulate when you go travel out. So be very careful to check the website of the city that you're going to. So you check all those boxes, what they are asking for. Every consulate is different. So be very careful with stamping whenever you're going.
Hi. Hi, sir. So my name is Shashan, I'm working in Silicon Valley. So I have like 3 or 4 questions. So firstly, I'm on H1B. So I graduated in 2015 August from NPU, so from Fremont. So my question is, so last year 2016 October, my H1 got approved. So now I'm on H1B. So I saw a case, one of my friend who, recently, just a couple of weeks, so one of my friend went to India for stamping, for extension. So he's from SPU. Yes, he's from SPU. So he got an issue in the immigration that your university is not accredited, so we can't allow you into the into the country, because he already went for stamping first time and he got only 1 year H1B visa. So what would be scenario? So my question is, I got like 3 years of visa of H1B. So after 2019, if I don't go for stamping, so what is the scenarios? If I go only, I would like to extend my H1B after 3 years. So when I go to the stamping, so will that be a problem that, will they ask me a question that your H1B, your university is not accredited, so will not approve your case. So will that be a problem for me after 3 years?
Yes.
I think specifically what it is when your H1B is filed, I think it more depends upon which degree was used to show your education and experience. If they use your master's degree, and let's say now later on the university is now not credited, there's some problem with it. So they could go back in the paperwork and see that everything in here was matched, let's say with your master's degree or your experience. So I think then it could be attacked. So I think it's usually a better, safer rule to go with your bachelor's, because that can't be touched, right? Most of the time bachelor degrees people get from overseas, you have your evaluation, so it's intact. I think more what's being attacked is the master's degree.
Because that's the one you got from that
That's the
university.
one you got from the university.
And that university loses accreditation, you automatically
So
lose
what they're trying to do is, in a way, they're trying to kind of penalize in a larger way by saying that if you've attended that university, not only is it not accredited, you can't use the degree, but also maybe whatever education you received there is not good for your job, or something like that. So I think safer would be to always go with your bachelor requirements rather than masters, to be safe at that.
So if they ask me the question that, in immigration, when I go to the stamping, so when you file your H1B, you file your H1B with your master's degree.
Right.
So if they ask me the same question, where's your master's degree? Why you're showing this bachelor's degree?
No, that's what I'm saying. It needs to be done from the first time when you file. Initially, it needs to be done like that. But let's say you file with the master's and then you end up at the consulate. So this is the problem that can happen.
Problem can happen.
Because then they're going to try to say that this degree is not recognized anymore, even though you're not filing in the master's cap per se, right? Because you're already cap exempt. But the thing is, I think they're trying to say again that your education that you received there is, according to them, is not enough. So they're trying to attack that whole thing. So I think that from the first get-go, it needs to be fixed. But I think if you get to that point, you just need to hope for a good officer who understands. I think it's a tough thing.
It's a very tough
Can he apply
Just,
the next extension with the bachelor degree?
Yeah, or you could do that. I mean, if it gets denied for some reason and it doesn't work, then you could reapply an extension with the bachelor's again. Yeah, that you could do.
In that case, madam, is there any possibility to this kind of scenario? When he applied masters, first time masters quota, second time might be he wants to go India. At that time might be like, if one or any attorney is there in India,
Yes.
they can
Yes, we do.
accompany with
We do.
while stamping, so they
Yes.
can.
Yeah, we could provide those
Yeah,
things.
we
Because
have an
I
office
applied
in
with
Delhi.
my master's degree, so it's not with my, I didn't apply it with my bachelor's.
Right.
So my H1B is with the master's degree. So that was a question. So this is not only for me, I did my MBA here. I have like almost 10 to 12 mates who got their H1B approved, and one guy is also here. And I have 2 guys here with my classmates. So even they have similar questions now. So
All of them are with
in this kind of scenario, that's what I'm saying. Whenever if you are going to travel India, so better to talk to any attorney, immigration attorney in India, you can accompany.
You see, if it's a very personal question, send us an email. We'll find ways for you. Send us an email, tell us we are going this time for stamping, we can help you with the stamping.
One more thing also, we can look at the university, right? Because there are so many, and nowadays it's very confusing.
Okay.
Because there's so many regionally these issues. So I think, yeah, it's better to look at it in a personal way to make sure will it affect you or not. And I think we have to review your prior paperwork and everything. So
Nowadays, even universities, whether they have accreditation or another, not, if they're doing anything else also wrong, you can still lose it. It's unfortunate. But they are becoming very strong with universities who are misusing work permits, etc. Therefore, some of the major universities which are well recognized, they don't have these kind of work permits. They don't have CPU. They don't have CPT. Yeah. So we are being offered CPT, so we are happy that we are offered, but at the same time we run this problem of issues accreditation may coming up. And sometimes even the even the accreditation companies which give you the accreditation, even they are being removed. So you can understand what they're coming from, where they're coming from. They don't want misuse.
Yes. I have one more.
Yeah.
So, if the same scenario happens, so thanks for the information and all. So I have one more now. So can I do any other masters when I was in H1B? So can I do that masters in any other university?
Yes, you can. You can transfer to any other university.
So but I'm working now. So I have a job here. I'm working full time here now.
yeah, if
So-
you can balance it part-time and there's a part-time program, there's no restriction.
So no need of changing my visa status and
No,
also. Why?
no.
Even I'm on H1B, I can continue my studies.
Yeah, you can do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi Anuji, this is Rishi. I already graduated from Silicon Valley University. Now we are not eligible to apply for OPT extension. So my question is, can I apply H1B visa in master's quota?
So, from what do you
Silicon Valley
SV,
University.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They've lost accreditation?
Yeah, this. So basically, I think that what the rule states is that if you're saying, can you file now, right? Now, if you can file or not.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think so, because I think that because the rule has come in now. So what they've said is, if somebody applied before, they would be accepted. But I think at this point, they don't have the accreditation. So I have a lot of students call similarly, but I don't think you'll be able to apply in the master's through that university or use that degree for your master's.
Unfortunately, that's bad news.
Yeah, this is the bad news right now, is that they're not recognizing those degrees of those colleges that have lost the accreditation under the AICSS.
So what
But
does
you
that
have 18
mean?
months to transfer.
So about the degree, what does
One
that
second,
mean?
Bharanjit.
So it's like nothing, they didn't do the post graduation like that? It's a useless or what?
I mean, according to USCIS, that's basically what they're saying, I think. But a lot of universities that are accepting a lot of these students are giving so much transfer credit. Like if they go to somebody new, they're giving a certain amount of transfer credit to them for transferring. But I think from a legal point, USCIS is not. They are just blankly saying we don't even accept anything.
You leave the country or you
So-
within 18 months transfer
But
to some
if
other
they can go to a different college and
They can go to a
get
different
some,
college.
get some
Transfer
credit for
credit.
the whatever the
Yes, they don't get
subjects
all of
they
it,
have.
but they get some of it.
That's why they recommend go to recognized universities.
Yeah, but people, they don't know they're legally running the colleges.
I know,
and
I
then
know,
they
I
can-
know.
that's the thing.
But that's why even by listening to, this kind of a seminar, it is important henceforth that we go to those universities which are recognized. Because there are a lot, because you see, what are they trying to check? Is private companies who have suddenly come up, made a lot of money when they say that we'll give you work permits. Even CPTs are misused, some of them, aren't they? So that is why they're trying to curb it.
Yeah, I know, one question, Clark. People who completed masters in 2014 and 15, the college from the NPU or SPU, whatever the college is, those people are eligible still to apply H1B because they have the 29 months OPT, whether they are eligible to apply in the master's quota or not.
This is when did they got their degrees prior?
So like, you know, I have few friends like who graduated in 2015, so in 2014 as well. So when they applied their H1B from 2014 and 2015, the H1B got not picked up. So in 2015, yeah, few cases I saw, like, you know, few of my friends, they graduated in August 2015 and they wanted to file their H1B now. Right. So will they eligible for master's quota? Can they apply?
So I believe the rule says that if they have got their degree at the time the school was still recognized, then they can use it. That they could use it for a master's filing now, even now.
So my accreditation, my university accreditation gone, you know, we lost the accreditation in just like couple of months ago,
Yeah,
like
right.
2016 December.
Right.
So I think, so as you are saying that they can apply for master's quota, right? So we have few employers, like, you know, I know few of my friends who want to apply their H1B from their employers. They have some positions, they are working some other client locations. So what their employer suggesting is, don't go for any master's quota, go with a general quota, so that would be good for you guys.
Yeah, I think the reason they're saying that is so that later if an RFE comes and you have to try to prove that accreditation was still there and let's say you're not able to, then they would just deny it on that basis.
See, RFE will come, it can still come to anybody.
So it's definitely safer to go in the regular quota it is, with any of these universities, because accreditation can be a problem at any time, right? Any new, something new could happen. So that's why, yeah, going in the bachelor's is safer in that route, that at least you wouldn't have an issue in that. An RFE wouldn't ask about your college accreditation. So that's probably why they're saying that that's a safer bet.
I think some social organizations should take this issue up. There's so much money is being given by
like, you know,
students to these universities.
Yes.
This could be taken up socially, not as an immigration issue, but as fraud, as cheating. This is something that should be taken up by some social organization.
Almost 3,000 to 4,000 people.
It is
from
very
Silicon Valley
unfair.
and
It
from
is very
Silicon Valley
unfair.
University. Yes, yes.
And I also believe the fees for CPT are so high.
So high.
Yes.
For the programs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
But our university will not provide any CPTs. So other universities are providing day one CPTs, but they're charging like 5,000 to 6,000 bucks per semester.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, if you see somebody giving you CPT, think twice. Unfortunately.
But we don't have any other options.
I know
so
you don't
yes.
have. I know that's what I'm saying, that immigration itself is so lopsided. Try to rationalize. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
What I was telling you about H1B, there's such a big need. But what are they doing to H1B? Slowly they'll have nobody working here. Doctors, what is happening to doctors who go to rural places and they work? And they work only for a green card, right? They go to rural places for so many years. And now if the foreigner doctors stop coming, let them find people to cure them. I don't know where are we going? I have no idea.
So no social organizations are coming up to take this issue up. So let's see, like, you know, future maybe someone.
Yeah, next question.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, Anaji, and you. Good evening, all. This is Satish. So my question is, so I was a student. Right now, I'm on H1B. So over the period of time we stay in USA, knowingly, unknowingly, we may violate a lot of things on status-wise. So when we interact with the UCIS, like if you want to do any extension or any new visa application, at that time, so for how much long period of paperwork they gonna be considering for next visa or any applications?
No. For a extension or for conversion?
Yeah, any visa.
Any visa. So if you convert into a B1, they will probably see your last pay stub.
Okay.
Were you in legal status? So that's what they will try to see. Were you in legal status? Were you actually working? If you were not working and you were sitting on the bench, that's not legal status.
For example, I'm on H1B, so I want to apply for an H1B extension, right? So for what long period, I mean, how much period of time of paperwork should be clean and which is considered by them? Did you
There is no such thing that says how much should be clean or not. You can get waivers of certain cases. There are waivers, etc. But you have to bring up what you have. If they see that you were not in legal status and you had to depart the United States. That's what it is. The law is very clear.
It could be at any time.
At any time.
Yeah, if you get any question on that, I think it would be a problem, right?
Yeah, there's nothing.
If you do not maintain the
Yeah, if you do not
regulation.
maintain the legal status, you're out of status, yes.
Right.
And then how many days you stay in this country and you get a 10-year ban with 180 days?
Right.
You are triggering that ban.
Right, got it. Thank you.
Hello ma'am, hello sir. So my name is Madhu and my question is regarding amendment. I recently changed my company from not employer, just the final client.
Yeah, I think it's still a rumor, and I think one of the reasons for it is them saying that there are more people taking away American jobs. So I think that's what the whole theory behind it is. But still, I mean, just in the initial, there's nothing
There is nothing
further that's come about it. And I think there's a group also filing a lawsuit against them, against this thing. So I don't know, but I don't know much more about it.
Okay, the last question I have is, this is a tough question. One of my friends, he works in the NGO organization which is CAP exempt. Okay, so he's an employer A sponsored under, doesn't count under the CAP. He got the job, he got the petition approved, he's working. An employer B, he is from profit company, applied and his petition is approved and revoked after October. Now, if employer C wants to give him a job, can he go to a new employer, employer C, or no?
And still be cap exempt?
Not cap, since the second petition is cap exempt, he goes to the lottery and gets approved, but he never worked under the second employer.
You
Now
can send
he
us an email and we'll examine it for you, okay?
Okay.
My answer would be, I think that you could find.
But still examine it properly because, you know, a hurried answer would not be.
Yeah, but specific.
Last question, Anu. Not question, just suggestion. So nowadays we are seeing the hate crimes in US, especially. There is a couple of folks who got accidentally killed by hate crimes during Kansas and other places also. Is there, luckily we are in the very safe zone Bay Area. Still we are seeing some rumors or whatever it is, but if anything is happening, just you can give suggestions or something, what kind of approach they can do. Something is happening or somebody is shouting on there and while walking, or just a suggestion.
The most important thing is to report it. Some people don't even report it. We should report hate crime. The more we report, the more people will know this is happening, so that we can work towards it. There are lots of non-profit organizations who are trying to make their hardest to defend hate crimes. Because some of us don't report it. I saw 4 or 5 messages on Facebook where it had happened, but none of those people even reported that. I really strongly encourage you to report hate crimes. And of course, we have to be very, very, now we are being called the sanctuary cities, and we are, but if you think of Texas, where what is happening about those companies which are employing illegal people, they are also companies in Texas. Texas is most anti-immigrant, but there are tons of companies who have employees. What about sanctuary industries? So think of it, that there is a need of immigration, that's why it's there.